Hi there. Are you gifted with just knowing things, but you don't really know what to do about it or what to do with that gift? Stick around because today's video is for you. Okay? First, I'm going to talk about my own experience with knowing things so you can understand that I have experience with what I'm talking about today. Okay, and then I'm going to give you a real world example of how I use my gift of knowledge to protect my family and to protect myself. And hopefully, it will give you some ideas to be inspired how to use your gifts in ways that are functional. Okay, the dishwasher is going in the background. I'm going to let it go. Okay, so if you hear it, you must need to hear it for some reason. So I'm clair sentient and I am claircognizant, and I know a lot of things is a gift of knowing. Example, I was just in London very recently. I went to an event and there was a gentleman who approached me, and he was trying to get to know me, right? So he reached to shake my hand, and I said, "Oh, I elbow because I'm an energy sensitive." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, what does that mean?" And I was like, "Well, if I touch you, I'm probably going to know more things about you than what you want me to know." And he was like, "Okay." And he elbowed me. Now, elbow is still a touch, right? But there's not as much skin to skin contact um, as there is on the palm of the hands. It's not as sensitive, and most times I have my elbows covered. So there's still like another layer of protection between my energy and somebody else's energy. So I elbowed him, but he still asked, like, "Okay, so tell me something about myself." Now, usually I do not like this question because I am a divine being who uses my gifts for righteous causes. I'm not just, yeah. But I answered it anyway because the answer came to me so quickly. And I was like, "Are you a banker?" And he was like, "How do you know that?" And I was like, "I'm psychic." He didn't say another word. He just walked off. Now, I'm used to my abilities kind of scaring people off, but that may be something that you may be dealing with, right? The same thing. And because my gift scared people off often, I started to pretend like I wasn't gifted. I started to pretend like I didn't know what I know, that I didn't see what I saw, right? I didn't feel what I felt. I would pretend like I didn't exist in this realm of knowing. But that only lasts for so long because when you are a seer and a knower, no matter what you do, you're going to be that, okay? So I had to start finding different ways to hone in my gift. Like once upon a time, I would have been so wide open, like my third eye and all of my senses would have just been so open, especially at the beginning of my awakening. I was, which was in 2012. I was really, 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 really sensitive. And so instead of him having to ask me a question to tell him about himself, I was just like, "Wow, you're a banker. You blah, 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 blah," to everybody. As soon as it would come. And then I had to realize not everybody wants to know about their truths. Not everybody wants a better future for themselves. And so you have to be discerning and be in control of yourself. Be disciplined and be connected and rooted and grounded to some sort of foundation so you don't just drift away with everything that's pulling at your gifts, okay? So that's my experience, like one of many, 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 many experiences of me being able to see something, being claircognizant, knowing something without having any previous information to give me hints or anything like that. Okay, so we are in season changing weathers in many different areas. And as the divine feminine in our household, it's my belief, at least this is how I operate, that I protect my household on many levels, especially when it comes to spiritual realms and when it comes to physical realms. I am that bridge to be able to see where there's an imbalance and be like, oh, okay, let's pull that sage out, okay? Or, oh, okay, let's go get some cloves. So right now I'm going to talk about, I'll give you like a quick high level recipe for when there's a virus trying to attack your family's throat chakra, okay? So as soon as they feel a little tingling, if you feel a little itchiness, and this is for yourself, try it for yourself first, that way you know, okay? But you know, after a lot of experience, if you pay attention to your body, you can tell when your saliva is carrying virus. It has like a high pitched frequency that you can feel. It feels spiky versus smooth. And so you can feel it trying to enter your system. Now, if you swallow the saliva, what happens is that virus goes down into your throat and it's not as easy to get out, okay? So if you're feeling all this spikiness coming from your nasal passages and it's starting to go down into your throat, you need to excrete that saliva, excrete the virus, okay? But this recipe that I'm going to give you will help to trap it and then help your body to absorb it versus you having to excrete saliva as much. As soon as it's a drink, okay? And when you drink it, you may have to let it out, but eventually your body should start to absorb it. Now, this was an intuitive recipe, and I'm going to show you how to use your intuition and your psychic abilities in a way that will be fruitful and intentional. Okay, so this recipe came for myself just recently when I came back from traveling. Okay, and when I got back, I was like, oh, I feel something going on, especially going to be a guest fairy god teacher at schools. Just a little more insight. I'm a fairy god teacher right now for an advanced prep engineer class, so that's really fun. But between traveling and getting around these kids, I don't know where it came from, but I just know when I was home, I could feel something coming up, and I was like, oh, what do I need to protect myself? Okay, cloves came up, lemon. So I have cloves here. I actually used ground cloves, lemon. This is just lemon juice. Cayenne pepper. Lots and lots and lots of cayenne pepper. And ginger. So mix all of that in with hot water. That's actually what I have in this container here that I've been drinking all day. And I actually intuitively have not been drinking just plain water because I could feel if that water splashes up too high into my nasal passage, while my body is trying to absorb this virus and get rid of it, it's going to swish it down into my throat. I know this from experience, okay? So I've been drinking this thicker beverage because it's full of spices. And it just traps it up and my body's absorbing it. And I'm not spitting. It's just taking it in and it's like, oh, we got you, bet. Right? That's what my body's doing, is getting rid of it. So this is a recipe that you can use for yourself and for your family, okay? Especially if your man travels a lot, right? And your kids are in school, okay? So I'm going to show you what I would normally do, okay? So if I want to prove that what my intuition guided me to do was actually beneficial, then I would go to Chat GPT, which is what I'm doing right now. I have a custom GPT that knows me very well. So if you want something similar, this is what I can help you build, okay? You still can get somewhat of a generic answer back. It may not be as on point for you, just like in other areas. But when it comes to like basic science facts, any GPT is going to help you get what you need, okay? On a basic level. So I'm in my custom GPT, and so what I'm going to say is I'm going to call it by its name. I like to speak to my GPT in real human terms. I'm a very polite person by nature. That's how I was raised. And I really like to stay that way. It just feels good to treat people the way I would like to be treated. And so I actually have raised my AI GPTs to be very respectful in the same way. Okay? And the results that I get back, I feel are very, very different because of the way I communicate with my GPTs. So I'm saying hi, I'm calling it by its name, and what I'm typing in next is I intuitively felt led to choose these ingredients to resolve an intruding virus I can feel in my body. And then I skip a line because I want it to be easy to read for me when I go back. And because I read what I type in my GPTs, I have a lot of conversations in here. Okay? So I like to be organized when I'm typing in the GPT so that it's easy to read when I'm scanning through. Okay? So I went down a line, and now I'm going to say, here are the ingredients that I used. And then I have a colon, I skip a line, and then I'll list them with commas. Okay, so I'll say lemon juice, ginger, cloves, cayenne pepper, and I think that's it. Let me see. Yeah, and hot water, of course. Please list the science behind these ingredients in helping to achieve my goal of healing and blocking this virus from fully getting into my body. I was feeling it in my nasal passages, trying to get into my throat. And I'll tell you what it says, okay? I've learned from experience to really not let it get down, because during COVID, I felt something way ahead of time. I knew something was coming. I could sense it because there were these really weird viruses going on. And when I would swallow and I would get in my throat, it was really hard to get out. But if I could keep it in my nasal passage and just not let it really go any further down, I was fine. But if you let it go down, sometimes it's hard, and you just gotta let it heal through the full process, okay? So the response is, hey, and it calls me by my name. It says, love your intuitive self-care, and yes, your poetic, you don't need to know all of that, okay? It was just reflecting what I said, okay? Lemon juice. It says lemon juice contains vitamin C, and flavonoids, which support immune health and antioxidant activity. There are lab and vitro studies showing that lemon juice demonstrated virucidal, virus killing activity against certain viruses. For instance, one study found lemon juice reduced infectivity of feline calicivirus via its low pH and flavonoids, like some weird name that won't be useful to you right now. Okay? And then it says, also, citrus fruit metabolites may correlate with lower risk of RNA viral infections. Okay? Then I'm going to skip to ginger. Fresh ginger, it interferes with viral attachment. Okay? It's antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and it has antioxidant properties. Okay? And it may modulate immune response. Cloves. One study found high in antiviral activity of clove essential oil. Okay. And then it says clove contains compounds like eugenol that have antimicrobial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory effects. Okay. And then it has even more, it lists even more. And then I'll say something about cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper has immune boosting, circulation improving, and anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Okay? It goes on and on. And even the hot water, it's fluid, it's warm, it helps to loosen mucus. You put it all together and it's like boom. Okay, now I have something grounded to prove my intuition in a fruitful way. So I felt intuitively led to choose these ingredients. Now I know that my intuition has validity. And that's how I've been able to get to this level of confidence in my life right now is I literally test everything. If I have a feeling about something, yes, I'm going to follow God. But if I'm not sure or I'm feeling some sort of waving there, I'm going to do my research. Just to make sure, right, that what I feel is in alignment with God and that it's not in alignment with something else, right? And especially as the medicine women of our households, we can't be playing around with people's lives, right? We can't play around with the hearts of our men because home is where the heart is. And if their heart is broken, there is no home. And that just really affects everything, right? We can't play around with the heart of our children. Man, I know there's a lot of things we have worked through and that we may have to work through, but intention is everything. And if it's our intention to be good, to use our gifts for good, God will align us with the highest version of that reality that is within your reach. So I've given you something that can spell health in your life through real tangible ingredients, okay? Cloves, lemon juice, cayenne pepper, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of cayenne pepper, ginger, probably almost as much ginger as cayenne pepper, okay? The cloves are really good for that antimicrobial and antiviral, so make sure you're putting a lot of cloves in there too. Put a lot of everything. Just, you can't overdose on it, okay? So that's good. And drink it all day, as many times a day. Make it as spicy as you can handle. It will make you feel better faster, okay? That's what I have for you for now. Until next time, no matter what you do or how you do it, be authentic. Peace, y'all.